Hey guys and welcome. This week I have a bit more knitting for you, another Amigurumi toy done, and some more inspirations that I hope you enjoy. So let's get started. Welcome everyone to episode 17 of Hanging On by a Thread podcast. My name is Silje and this is my virtual space to talk about anything knitting and craft related that I do during the week. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and click like and comment if you like what you see. And if you've been here before and you already subscribed, then thank you very much. It's very cool, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode. It's tradition now that I talk a bit about what I'm wearing at the beginning of the episode. This week is no different. I am wearing one of my most used hand knits. It is Petite knit balloon sweater. A balloon sweater. Why do I say? Well, it is a sweater. It's a sweater type cardigan. Okay, so it's a cardigan, obviously. Deep V-neck, 4 big buttons, slightly boxy shaped as it turned out. Wide, comfortable sleeves that are gathered into a balloony thing in the end. So, balloon cardigan. It's a very non-fuss pattern. I mean, Petite knits designs are extremely popular. And I think it's precisely because they are very straightforward, easy to knit, they're classic shapes, and yeah, something that you need as a staple in your wardrobe, something, plain, classic, nice looking, and very versatile. So this is one of the things that I absolutely did not enjoy knitting, but I make them anyways because I want them to be part of my wardrobe. And part of being a knitter, when I started seriously knitting in 2013-ish, I decided my days of buying knitted garments from H&M and Zara and all of these places has to stop. I'm never again buying a polyester knit, acrylic knit from H&M because I can make my own things, and if I really want a garment, I can make it. So this is that. It is one of the, as I said, I've worn it so much. I mean, it's my go-to green color. I've plain coconut buttons on it. It is very reasonably priced yarn in it. It's made out of 3 strands held together. So 2 lace weight merino yarns, 2 shades of green, and 1 strand of drops kid silk. Dark green, I think is simply called the colorway. And yeah, it's holding up okay. I mean, it's pilling, obviously. I am me. As you can see, there's pilling going on here, but not as much as it could be, since I've worn it so much. And I think the blend, the color is pretty nice. And because it's two strands of lace weight, even if it's 3 strands held together, it is very sheer and light. Anyway, so I'm very pleased with my yarn combo on this one. And I think, green matches my eyes. Yeah. But if you're looking for an easy knit, plain stocky knit, go for it. It results in a very, very wearable cardigan, and I am happy to buy it. When did I knit it? 2018, I think. It's my most worn cardigan since then. So, yeah. Petite knit balloon cardigan on this one. How you guys been? I was pumped spring was coming back. It's been a difficult week and I've been fluttering between projects again. And I'm once again looking out at a white sky. It's snowing today. I felt like spring was finally coming. Last weekend was fantastic. Saturday and Sunday was so sunny and warm and nice, and we went for a picnic and picked flowers and started planning the garden. And now it is snowing again, so yay! I can't be the only one that's fed up with this. And this year we couldn't even go down south for winter vacations, or you know, to have some summer in the middle of the winter. So yeah, I'm having a bit of coconut shavings as a snack, trying to stay away from the chocolates. That is hard pressed when the weather is this changing. Oh well. So, what have I done this week since last episode? I feel like I've been all over the place again. I have like no focus. Well, that is not true. I had focus, but I spent it all doing a new Amigurumi project. So, on Sunday, I think it was on Sunday, I hooked up, that's the term, I hooked up a new project, which is, I talked about wanting to do a little grey sheep from the same book as the bunny I showed the last time. And so I did that, and I finished, because I was really enjoying it. I was feeling like, oh, this is going to get to be so pretty. So today I am starting off with a finished object, and it is the little grey sheep. The pattern is Lily the Lamb from the book of Sweet Crochet Friends, 16 Amigurumi creations from Skye. Ooh, shiny book. So I've shown this a couple of times because I've this is now, is it the second one I'm making from this book? Yes, it's the second one. I've made Vivi the bunny and now Lily the lamb is the pattern. So I think she turned out quite lovely. Sweet sheep. I think I should have placed this ear a bit further ahead on but it doesn't really make a huge difference, but she's super cute. So this is done in Shapes Katona again for the grey body and everything, and her dress, the white part, is Shapes stone washed. So I think, yeah, stone washed. So it's not wool, but I thought it was a little bit more fuzzy and looks more like her fleece. So she's has her little body here, and then the dress is hooked onto the top of her neck and made that much like that. Took me quite some tries, but I was like so determined I wanted to make this pretty sheep, and I did some minor adjustments to make sure that I got the plump bubbles this time. Apparently, I don't know if it's the yarns I chose or not. This calls for the Sheepius Katona denim for the dress. And maybe that has a slightly thicker thread to it than the stonewashed, I think. Might be. It's supposed to be the same sports weight type yarn. But I wasn't getting these plump bubbles, so I actually had to change up crochet hooks on the dress here, and the hat also took me a few tries. I unraveled like 5 times before I had a result on the cap that I was okay with. So they're not as plump as I would like it, the ones in here, and I figured out how to do a nicer bubble on the skirt, but then I had already finished the hat, so I wasn't going to make another one. So instead of making a bubble with 5 staffs as was up here, I added one more, so it's with 6 staffs. I say staffs, double crochets. So you make double crochet, you make a bubble by making 5 double crochets into 1 stitch and then pull them all together. I had to do 6 double crochet to make that plumpness happen. I also had to go up an additional hook size to make my double crochets long enough for them to like fluff out nicely. So on the actual dress, my hook size is smaller here than I used on the bubbles. So on the body I used a 2.5, then I went up to a 3 for the clothes, 2.5 millimeters, and then I went up to a 3 millimeter hook size for the dress, and then a 3.5 for the bubbles, because otherwise I wasn't getting a nice bubble. So, and yeah, I love this little gold on the shoes. So I think this grey, gold and cream little sheep is gonna be very well received, I hope. I have a friend that had a baby. So this is a different baby, it's not the same one. But I think this goes more to her aesthetic than the very baby lilac and floral colored one that goes for another of my friends that I think will appreciate that more, a lot more girly. And yeah, so maybe you are watching. So this is for little baby Matilda. It's gonna go in the mail very soon. Yeah, so it was cool. Every time I make an amigurumi, I was like, I'm gonna make this because it has the same body as the previous one. And it does have the same feet and the same head. So the start of the head is similar, but it was a bit rounder than the other one. And the body is shorter as well. And I made the body and the head separately and then stitch it together after. Because you need to pick up for the dress and the collar on the neck, which would be very tricky to do with the head already attached. So the head has been stitched on, and I think I did it quite seamlessly. Ah. Hi. And also there's the detail around the shoe is slightly different from the other one. And it does call for amigurumi eyes to be put in, but the only eyes I had was like 14 millimeter wide, which would have been way too big and scary looking on her. And I thought for baby safety, maybe just the simple stitched eyes would be nice anyway. So yeah, I really enjoyed making this. So I started it on... Oh, I started it on the Saturday. On Saturday I started this. And I was finished with it Monday evening. So yes, it went fairly quickly. I love this about amigurumi making, is the that you do it all in pieces, and it's so, it's like so surmountable. It's so doable to start and finish a little piece, especially when you're not in the greatest of places emotionally maybe. And I was just like really hanging on to, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make this pretty thing for a sweet little baby, for a dear friend. And that got me through like those rough emotions that I was having. To focus on something nice and pleasant, and that somebody at the end of this will smile. So, Lily the Lamb. Of course, I wanted immediately to cast on something else, a new Amigurumi, which I did not. I'm letting that one stew a little. I am leaning toward making another one from the same book, which is the little tiger, because I thought he would be very sweet. And I have colors that would suit him. He kind of looks like one of these cartoon characters for small children. Well, it's a tiger. It's a tiger. Maybe if you see these shows with your kids, you will know which one I'm talking about. They sing everything slightly off key and with no sense of rhyme. But yeah, this guy. So I could make him. Not sure if his shirt would be red, but I do have a dark brown and I do have a nice gold for the fur. So I think I could make that. Could be a companion to the bunny maybe, because the recipient of the bunny has an older brother. That would be nice. So that is, I'm thinking about. But instead of hooking up with a new Amigurumi friend, I decided to get cracking at trying to finish some of the things I have already shown you guys. So that maybe next week or sometime in the near future, I will have something finished to show you guys again. So I've worked on 2 knitting projects. Firstly, I completed the Kuutar yoke. So the yoke is done, and I've knitted enough to start splitting for body and sleeves. And the prospect of counting correctly around and actually split for body and sleeves was too much for me 2 nights ago. So I put it aside and thought, actually I need to finish some of the sleeve islands I've got going before I start on major stockinette body and sleeve islands on the Kuutar. But the fun part, with a bit of a treat coming at the end of each sleeve though, the fun part is done. So the Kuutar yoke is completed. Let me see if I can show. I've shown you this before, but not the whole. So, don't know if it shows nicely. I always end up thinking it actually popped out nicer than I think it does, looking at the little preview window on the camera, so I'm not too worried. Yeah, so that's the Kuutar yoke. I did not try it on yet, but it feels like it should fit nicely. I mean, it's very stretchy and supple. And yes, and it is definitely deep enough. So I reached a point where so when it comes sitting on me, it's I think the armhole is going to be comfortable there. Actually, now I just want to keep knitting on it so I can finish it, because this is, but, no, I don't get to finish this. I don't get to sit and knit stockinette for a week, because before I finish this one, I really, really want to finish the Skye pullover. So sleeve number 2 is happening. I have made a bit of progress and stopped in the middle of one needle. Who does that? See, like, my mental rule is that if you use DPNs, you put it down having completed one needle. You don't leave it like this. Like, well, I think I'm excused though. I do have small children, and the baby must have done something that I needed, couldn't just hold off. I need to complete some stitches. Babies tend to be very impatient. They cannot wait. I was like, I am sad now. Pick me up immediately. So that must have been it. I am keeping ahead with this is not a progress, well, it is a progress marker, but it does not show you how much I've done since last time. This is just marking my last increase for the sleeve. So I think last time this one popped up on this channel, I was about here. I had just completed the colorwork section, and I started with the twisted stitches. So yeah, it is a beautiful color, isn't it? I'm so pleased with the color combo. So I really want to finish this, and it is knitting up quite fast actually. So if I don't get distracted and I don't pick up and start on anything else, I will be able to finish this sleeve pretty soon. The first sleeve is done. So how much left? See, that's not too bad. I got like 2 repeats of the pattern left, and increases obviously. And so why not just go on and complete it, and then I will have a beautiful new pullover that will hopefully even fit. Yes, imagine that. I think it will. I can mention the colors. I am knitting my Skye sweater out of the called for yarn in the pattern, which is the Rowan felt tweed. It's the first time. It is the first time I am knitting anything out of this yarn. As I've stated before, I've not been a great fan of alpaca yarns, but I am appreciating alpaca when it's mixed with wool. So I have a few sweaters that have been made with like Dustur alpaca that had a larger wool content as well, and one of those 50-50 alpaca wool. I think it's Sandnes garn. I have one kofta made out of that, which is holding up very nicely actually. I recommend that yarn. I might bring it to show in an episode. It's not one of those kofta I would put on to like the office, but I would wear it at the cabin. Like, it's a fauna kofta, so it's just those stripes with the loose on it. Very basic, very cabin life and walking in the mountain-y for me. So yeah. But this is 50% wool, 25% alpaca, and 25% viscose. So it's very light. It's got the fuzziness. And yeah, it is duck egg and I want to say brick red. If it's not brick red, please insert the correct one here, Silja, future. Yes, so this red and this dark blue. And yeah, on the sleeve you can already see how the color work is contrasting very nicely with these two. So I had originally bought kind of like a dark teal contrast color, but it was too, the colors were too close with the duck egg. There wasn't enough contrast, so I got one that I thought would work well, and it does. So I'm pleased with that, because you don't have only they're quite close in saturation, but since this is a red and this is a blue, there's a good tension between them. Yeah. So can I just sit and knit on this now? Maybe. No, I'll be too distracted. I have to constantly twist stitches and make sure I don't mess it up. So I've been listening to I've started listening to audiobooks, which is something I have not done before. My mom has constantly been sending me audiobooks and giving me that, but I've never actually bothered to do it, because I have always enjoyed picking up the book and having the book and then leafing through and in general. And then I started with I got myself a Kindle, and I read a lot of Kindle books, because when I was going to and from the office, I just couldn't be bothered taking the thick books, because I have a tendency of liking really long volumes and sagas and huge things. And then the Kindle is genius, because you can have a 1,000-page book and it's not taking up this much space in your bag. And it doesn't have the distractions that an iPhone or your phone does, or just a regular tablet, because it has the pings and the Facebook and no. Kindle is just for reading. Where was I going with this? Yes, audiobooks. So even that is impossible to do. And it's not impossible. I know a lot of people read while they knit, and with the Kindle I can. I feel like it's easier because I can make the letters larger and stuff. But it's not so much the knitting as it is staying for 3 hours with a baby that doesn't want you to leave, and I can sit and have headphones on and listen to an audiobook in the dark in the room while the baby sleeps. And I can listen to an audiobook, look out the window at the rain and hail and snow, have my hands be busy with something, and listen to a story. Because after a year of Netflix, man, I am so sick and tired of watching TV. There's like nothing good on. I'm sure that there's stuff coming, I know, but I was just so tired of... I couldn't even make a decision on what to watch next, because the things are over so fast. So a TV show, an episode is what, 1 hour? That doesn't fill a day. 1 hour. Well, there's an audiobook. You're guaranteed like 30 hours of listening pleasure. Awesome. And I like it when the stories go on and on and on. So I enjoy a lot of science fiction and fantasy things that are, massive volumes that have 14 different books that are all huge. And I love immersing myself in that universe. So yeah. So I'm trying one of these audiobook apps. So far so good. Let's see if they keep up the good work. It's becoming very, very popular here, I think, the audiobook thing. Yes. Oh, I am not done talking about knitting. Am I? Let's check. So, I was actually done talking about knitting. Not completely, but at least what I've been doing this week. I haven't done much more than I started this sleeve, finished that yoke, and oh, I started the sleeve on the the lap wing too, but I only did the cuff, and I decided that my brain could read the color work chart, and I went to the Skye. What? All over the place. Come on, Silja. I wanted to talk to you about, I found some gold nuggets obviously this week as well. So maybe I decided I don't need to include this, but I thought it was quite fun to do just some, because recommendations from my Instagram stalking sessions. Sounds segment. So let's see. I have two things I thought I wanted to show this time. Make some space for the slidey uppy swoosh. So I thought, when I did pin this inspiration to my collections, I was much more in a summer is coming, lovely spring frame of mind. And hopefully by the time most of you guys see this episode, spring will have returned to us. And we can start thinking of the summer garments that we're all going to be casting on and knitting and just wow. And I thought one of those classic stripy sweaters, for me that's like summer garments, like classic cream or a cream white and navy stripy sweater. And I thought I found this that was it was a lot, not a lot, but it was more interesting than a lot of the classic ones that are just basic stripes, just I love stripes, but it had a bit more interest in it for me. It's a seaboard sweater by Tanis Laval, which is Tanis Fibre Arts on Instagram. I think it's quite a popular design. It's been around for a couple of years already. And it's got those classic stripes, but each navy stripe has a bit of lace texture as well. So, and there's a nice detail on the sides. And I like also that the stripes on the arms are a bit slimmer than the ones on the body. So there's basic stockinette stripes on the arms, and then there's some texture on the sleeves. I think I need to look at it here on my phone so I can talk about it and see what you guys see. So it's a basic, like very basic drop shoulder shape, and I think it's just really nice. I might have to knit this year, and it looks to be made in a DK weight, so I'm thinking maybe some sort of cotton and linen mix would be really nice for that, because I'm not 100% cotton, and 100% cotton can be nice, but 100% linen, so maybe there's a linen and cotton mix to be had that could be nice for this. Even the Hostgarn that has the wool, what's it called? Coast. It's called Coast. I think that could be nice. 2 strands of that hold together. I might actually have some in stash that I could work from. Because since it's 2 colors and they look to be fairly evenly distributed, so like you'd need about the same amount of each color. You don't need to have a sweater amount of any one color, which I always find is helpful for knitting a bit out of yarn surplus. Yeah? So that could be nice. And I'm pretty sure. I say I'm pretty sure it will be knit flat. I have not read the pattern, but it's on my wish list. And another recommendation of something I've been looking at it for quite a while. It's the Recollect Cowl by Jennifer Stangas. I've knitted one sweater, the Tresta sweater of hers, before, which is a beautiful colorwork yoke. And it's just this cowl is so simple. And it's a Mobius cowl. And it's just the colorways as well. It's so scrumptious. And it's the contrast between the stockinette stitch and the little bubbly things. Garter stitch. Jeez. Can't think of the right word. But the stockinette and the garter stitch contrast gives it a nice texture. So, I mean, I'm a bit cheeky and I look at this pattern, I think, I don't need to buy this pattern, do I? Seems a bit silly. That's such an easy one. But she did come up with the design, and I think a bit it can't possibly be an $8 pattern, right? It's Mobius cowl with a very simple zigzag. Anyways, but that is gorgeous. Surprise pattern revealed. I think a lot of people have fallen in love with this. This was published back in just before Christmas last year, I think. So yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of iterations already up on Instagram and Ravelry as well. Yeah. So those are the two things that caught my eye this week that I thought I would share with you. And I thought, yeah, why not? And that's about it for me today. I'm gonna have a little snack because my hand went to the ball. Coconut. Yeah, that's it. That's a wrap. That's today's this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, the notes to the stuff I mentioned can be found in the description box below. Hopefully on my blog. I am a disaster. I was nattering on about, oh, I'm going to be so much better next time or this time, and put the blog notes out soon. You know when I posted them? I posted them today for last week's episode, so yeah. They're always attached to the video and on upload, but my blog is not dependable. Anyways, it's buyathreadblog.com, and it's pretty. I think so. And if you want to follow me on Instagram or Ravelry, my handle there is Silmoa. And if you've enjoyed this video and you want to watch more and get notified and well, like, subscribe, notify, and it would be very nice if you want to leave a comment. I read all of them. I mean, there's, well, on average 2 per episode, so it's not hard. It's not a hard job to do, but I really love it. It's super fun to get notified about, like, oh, you got a comment, yay! And what else? That's about it for today. Did I forget something? I feel like I forgot something. If I forgot something, I've forgotten it, so it's not coming back to me now. Maybe by next week. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend and a lovely week of knitting. Until next time. Bye.